All right, Michigan had their spring game yesterday. Yes, it's your Sunday, but we got Cato on the ones and twos, myself, JD PicKell. Got to give you the reaction, right? The big house was buzzing yesterday. The broadcast for the spring game is not yet out. So we got boots on the ground in Ann Arbor. Clayton Safety, the entire team from the Wolverines, the Michigan On 3 site, was there. Tons of coverage, tons of intel. You can find some snippets on the socials if you want to try and, piece together what happened. But we're going to give you a little bit of a mix here, the intel as well as the reaction to the intel as well as what we saw with our own eyes from the social media side of things when it comes to Michigan's spring game yesterday. It's a new era, man. Bryce Underwood was out there for the first time now in a Michigan uniform, wheeling dealing in the big house. Vibes are immaculate. They should be immaculate because you got an absolute freak show at quarterback now, a difference maker at quarterback, the first one you've had in a very, very long time out there in Ann Arbor. Going to break it all down. Before we do that, make sure you are subscribed. If the ridiculous background behind me that is a bedroom wall isn't enough of a case to make for our commitment to this whole deal, it is college football. We're reacting to a spring game. Y'all, we're about this life. I know you are too, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any of the coverage. We usually do that coverage in a full professional studio, but, life's about finding a way, so we find a way to react to this. Let's start here, though. It was the Bryce Underwood show, right? That was what everyone came in to see if you showed up to the spring game in Ann Arbor. A lot of people that weren't actually at the game are going to see the box score and see that Bryce Underwood was less than 50% on completing his passes, and they say, that's the guy you pay double-digit $1 million for? Okay, well, hey, best of luck. Best of luck being mid at quarterback yet again. Again, stats don't tell the whole story. Never have, never do, never will. Yes, he was less than 50%, but I was told that he had a couple of throws that were, one, dropped. Two, they did not give Bryce Underwood the introductory package when it came to running the Michigan offense. There was no, Bryce, we're going to go ahead and just cruise this thing through the neighborhood. We'll go 20, 25 through the school zone. It was like, you got a special cannon for that right arm. We're going to try to use this thing a little bit here, okay? So they tried to push the ball downfield, which to me says if we're trying to push the ball downfield during the spring game, one, that's probably going to be one of the traits of this offense, which if you're a Michigan fan, all right, hey, that's something a little bit new here for what the offense has been historically. Not that you want to push the ball downfield with J.J. McCarthy or Davis Warren, but you didn't see a lot of that last year. That wasn't really your MO. So you're seeing it in the spring game. Tells that's going to translate to the fall. Second part of this is you probably trust your quarterback to make those throws downfield. You go check out all the intel over on the Wolverine. A lot of the guys that were at that game are saying the same thing across the staff. Hey, yeah, he had some overthrows, but gosh dang, you see the juice with that football, man. He's only 17. This is his first time playing a college football game. So, yeah, it wasn't perfect, but for a 17-year-old with as talented as he is, to still have the day he had where, sure, there's an interception, but had a nice throw to end the game on a trick play that ended up, being it wasn't a walk-off, but, the final play being a touchdown, 88 yards, when your longest pass play a year ago was 36 yards. We'll take that. We'll take that to the bank every single time. One more thing I'll add, too. Bryce Underwood, what do we know about his game? Dude is a special player with the ball in his hands in space. Some of the best plays he will make for Michigan this year will be escaping a sack, getting north and south, and picking up 15, 20, 25, however many yards after that. What he does with his legs, breaking tackles, making guys miss. What do you have in the spring game? Early whistle. You're not hitting Bryce Underwood during the spring game, man. As much as you might want to see him out there in space, I promise you, that is going to be there in the fall, okay? So just know that also was a part of his game. You saw it flash a little bit in the spring game. Sounds like he had a 12-yard scramble that was a big and extended drive. Bottom line, dude's super talented. I'm not worried about the completion percentage. We know he's going to be good. Now, how good? A lot of that's going to depend on what's around him. One more note on the quarterbacks, Jaden Davis. It's going to be something where, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. I do not think if it's Bryce Underwood versus Jaden Davis in a quarterback battle, Jaden Davis will be your starting quarterback. Now, Jaden Davis, the reports all spring has been he's progressed, he's taking the right steps, he's improved a lot from last year. One of the main concerns around Jaden Davis, for me at least, is you hear a lot about his windup. Now, I'm not a quarterback whisperer, right? You're not paying me money to coach your kid one-on-one doing quarterback stuff, but you talk about the long release and the windup. In college football, with how quickly these guys break on the ball, Cato's producing this thing, man. Two-time All-Sun Belt safety. You wind up a little bit, give him a little extra key where you're going with the football. I mean, it's going the other way. And that happened in this game when it comes to the spring game, which you saw from Jaden Davis. So taking strides. The spring game, though, if you were to pick a winner of the quarterback battle from the spring game, it would be Bryce Underwood. Now, Mikey Keene's still progressing. Doesn't sound like Sharon Moore is all that concerned about him missing the spring with how much he's played college football. Y'all, we know where it's going. We all understand where this thing is going. Bryce Underwood is going to start for you game 1 at Michigan. Feel very confident in saying that. A couple other quick hitters, though. The running back room, didn't see a ton of Jordan Marshall. I don't think Michigan fans are all that worried about what he brings to the table. You saw what he did against Alabama. Y'all, Justice Haynes, man. Justice Haynes showing some juice. Cato and I text throughout the day on any college football Saturday, and especially during the spring games, we're keeping up with the lack of broadcast. We're keeping up with what these social media videos are, with fans taking videos at games, or teams putting out snippets of their spring game on social media. A little snippet out there of Justice Haynes getting outside, popping one. Now, it wasn't like an 80-yard touchdown run, but just showed a little extra juice there from Justice Haynes. They're going to be just fine at running back. The standard that you've enjoyed in Ann Arbor of having a 1-2 punch, that's still going to be there. Now, to what degree does it impact your offense? We'll see. But Michigan is not going to be at a point here we get to October, barring injury, where they're like, gosh, if we just had some more guys at running back, they're good. It's going to be 1A, 1B as the starters. And Justice Haynes just kind of showed you why they brought him there from Alabama, if you needed any convincing as a Michigan fan. Now, defensively, D-line, we've been saying it all spring long. They're deep. In fact, they feel like they're 10 deep, 4 deep on the edge, 6 deep on the inside. That's Michigan football, man. Like these last 2 points I've made. The running back room, the defensive line, that will carry Michigan football. Those are the DNA traits of what you've enjoyed over the course of the last however many years when you talk about what that maize and blue means. So that showed up yesterday. Rayshon Benny, I believe, opened the spring game with a sack on Bryce Underwood. They're counting on him now. Counting on him to do some big things. Now, in terms of things that we don't know a lot about yet coming out of spring, offensive line, still got to figure out what they're going to do at tackle there. The receiver room, again, I'd be surprised if they didn't hit the portal and add at least one more piece. Donovan McCulley, they've been raving about all spring from Indiana. He didn't play a ton yesterday, which in a spring game, you're like, okay, you didn't play a ton in the spring game, which means you probably don't need to see a lot from you, which means that you're probably a baller. So take of that whatever you would like. Final take on this is I think Michigan's got a really high floor on defense. And if Bryce Underwood is who you believe he can be as a true freshman and they can get enough around him, Michigan's going to be in that mix for the Big Ten. The schedule is what it is. They seem to have Ohio State's number. If you get to that last game of the year, if you're Michigan and we'll call you a 9-win team going to that last game of the season, 10 wins in the Big Ten gets you into the college football playoff. Just full stop. So if you're at 9 wins with Ohio State coming to Ann Arbor and Bryce Underwood has translated to that point in time to being a quarterback and get you to 9 wins, like it's there. It's all right there. But the traits that have made Michigan for the last decade or so are not going anywhere. Still the blow in the block, still going to run the football. If they can protect Bryce Underwood and he can translate to being a 5-star college quarterback as a true freshman, they're going to be in real good shape. So Michigan fans, those of y'all that were at the game, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Bottom line, though, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you don't miss any of the coverage we have here on the On3 YouTube channel. We will talk more about this on Tuesday's show. I'm sure we'll talk more about it on Monday, so keep an eye on the channel. But hey, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We'll keep this party rolling. We'll see y'all next time.